Guys, that was me popping my Well of Radiance 14 freaking times in this 24-minute Grandmaster Nightfall. Check this out. I'm bringing you a build capable of chaining an infinite amount of Wells of Radiance. You will be getting your super faster than the first one can even expire, and your teammates will love you for this. Trust me. But it doesn't end here. Not only you will be spamming Wells left and right, but you will also be pulling one of the highest damages in the entire game. I'm going to explain all of this in a second. But first, I want to announce that we have reached 2,000 members on Discord, and I want to say a big thank you for the amazing support. To celebrate this, I'm giving out a copy of the upcoming DLC Lightfall. All you have to do to join is go to the giveaways channel on my Discord and react to the bot's message. Good luck everyone. So, as a lot of you already know, ever since Solar 3.0 came out, Starfire Protocol has been an absolute beast of an exotic, and it has shifted the way we used to play Warlocks. However, the biggest disadvantage of this exotic is the fact that you have to use your Empower Rift, which I know a lot of you guys dislike because standing in the same spot in Destiny 2 is an easy way to get yourself killed. Well, today I'm fixing this problem once and for all, by showing you guys a build capable of mass producing Wells of Radiance, that way you never again have to worry about dying. Starfire Protocol gives you Fusion Grenade energy whenever you deal weapon damage to an enemy while being empowered. This means either standing in an Empowering Rift or Well of Radiance. Grenade kills also fully refill your rift, meaning you can get a really nice loop going on in here by spamming rifts and grenades non-stop. This exotic also provides you a second charge of your Fusion Grenade, which is very nice. But what makes this exotic viable is the Solar 3.0 fragment Touch of Flame, which makes our Fusion Grenade explode twice. However, keep in mind that this doesn't apply Scorch stacks twice, and that's because only the first explosion applies Scorch stacks. A very important mod in here that's going to allow us to spam our super way more often is Energy Converter. And this will convert your Charge with Light stacks into super energy. We are going to be storing 4 of those stacks, meaning that we will be getting 26% of our super back whenever we throw our grenade. Unfortunately, there's a limit to this mod, as you can only go up to 50% of your super energy until it stops working. But either way, that's not a problem for us, as we will be throwing our grenade instantly after placing down Well of Radiance. However, some of you might be wondering how can you even get to 4 stacks of Charge with Light, and that is thanks to a mod called Supercharge, which increases the amount of stacks that you can have by 2. Another very important mod that we are going to be using is Ashes to Assets, and specifically 2 of these because they will give us an insane amount of super energy whenever we defeat targets, especially yellow bars and tougher enemies. To top this off and make the whole experience a lot smoother, we are going to be using Stacks on Stacks, which doubles the amount of stacks we get whenever we become Charged with Light. In our case, this means that all we have to do is pick up a single Solar Well to get 4 stacks of Charged with Light. Couldn't get any easier than this. If you don't have this mod, then don't worry about it, you can also replace it with Bountiful Wells, or even Charged Up if you want to have even more super energy with 5 stacks total. Stat wise, you want to be aiming for 100 resilience, 100 discipline, and then as much recovery as you can get. Ability wise, make sure that you're running Well of Radiance, Empowering Rift, and then Fusion Grenades, because these 3 things are a must. Aspect wise, we are starting up with Heat Rises, which allows you to consume your grenade if you want to fly infinitely, as well as gives you your melee energy back when you get kills while in the air. Next up we have Touch of Flame, which is the bread and butter of this build because it allows your Fusion Grenade to explode twice. As for our fragment, we are going to be starting off with Ember of Ashes, which allows you to apply more Scorch stacks with everything. Now we have Ember of Car, which is going to allow your Solar Ignitions to spread Scorch to affected targets. Then we have Ember of Torches, which is going to give you and your team Radiant whenever you use your melee ability. And finally, we have Ember of Singeing, which is going to give you class ability energy whenever you scorch targets. We are mainly using this for those tougher enemies that you're facing that won't die from 1 or 2 grenades. Now, mod-wise, we are starting off with Elemental Charge on our helmet, and this is going to allow us to become Charged with Light whenever we pick up an Elemental Well. Make sure that you pair this up with double ashes to assets, as this mod is the key to getting our super very fast. It basically gives you super energy whenever you get killed with your grenade. On our gauntlets we are going to be using supercharged, and this is going to allow us to have 2 additional stacks of charge with light. On our chest piece we are using stacks on stacks, and this is going to double the stacks that we get whenever we become charged with light, meaning that a solar well, instead of giving us 2 stacks, is going to give us 4 of them. If you don't have this mod, remember you can use bountiful wells, which is pretty much the same thing, except you have to wait about 1 second between picking up the second well, because otherwise it will only give you 2 stacks. On our leg armor we are using energy converter, and this is going to convert all those charged with light stacks into super energy. In our case, when we have 4 stacks, it's going to give us 26% super energy. However, it only works up to 50% of your super bar. If you're fast enough, you can pop your super, throw your grenade, then pick up another well and then throw your grenade again, and it's going to give you 50% of your super back just from those 2 moves. And finally, we are using elemental ordnance on our bond, and this is going to create those solar elemental wells whenever we get kills with our grenades. Weapon wise, you can use absolutely anything you want. However, a couple of good weapon recommendations I can give you guys is any weapon that applies overtime effects, like Lemonarch with a poison or Witherhoard are excellent weapons for this build because they constantly give you grenade energy back with the damage over time that they deal. The way you play this build is by spamming that empowering rift as well as fusion grenades until you get your super. You also need to make sure that you pick up that solar elemental well before using your super, that way you can make use of energy converter and get that big chunk of super energy back. Once you're charged with light and have your super ready, make sure that you pop it in a good spot that has a constant flow of enemies, that way you make the best use of it. Try to spam your fusion grenades everywhere because thanks to them you will be getting a lot of super energy, as we are using double ashes to assets on our helmet. If you are using bountiful wells instead of stack on stacks, remember that you cannot pick up 2 wells at the same time because they will only give you 2 stacks of charged with light instead of 4. You have to wait about a second between picking up each well. And that is all for today, guys. I hope that you guys will enjoy this build and spam those wells of Radiance. Have a great rest of your day.